heard your cries, Guggen Nation, but too much of a good thing is bad for your health. So we're only doing this once a week. Buckle up, baby. It's time for E.T.N. Brought to you by All Pro Roofing on 1010XL.
All right, back here on the drill. TKO victory for me.
Victory lap at this point.
Thank you.
Victory lap for our guy.
Worked awfully hard on this. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's been a grind for you.
Thanks, everyone.
You've earned it.
I mean, last week, this is a 2-week probation after those shenanigans last week where he pandered to one of those Exum twins. Those guys are the spawn of the devil. I don't know what to tell you. Exums.
Subterfuge on that one.
That's correct. I don't know why. You have such a lovely sister. A terrific person. You two. No character, man.
True.
At all. But, again, we don't need to beat that dead horse.
No.
All right, we will instead reconstitute a beef as a 10-minute drill.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get it on. We'll still keep the formalities.
Round one.
Nice.
The Googans demand it. They love the E.T.N.
Nice.
Even when it's a walk-off 5-0 victory. Well, first and foremost.
We get to hear Tennessee whiskey at the end of this segment?
Of course.
Very nice.
It's deserved. It's earned. I mean, the big news and the big talker last night, ahead of Monday Night Football was the, I guess, shocking but not surprising resignation of Jon Gruden.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, at the end of this isn't about, you should scrub your service or, you shouldn't use company email. How about you shouldn't say those things to begin with, right? I don't care what your mood is at the time. This isn't a lesson for Jon Gruden. It's for any and everyone. I mean, what are we doing? And so this isn't about avoiding the technology. It's about avoiding the impulse, right? And the things that he said in the context of who he is in the NFL aren't going to fly. Again, I'm going to true detective this. I think this is a little more pointed and targeted than how it played out. As I go through the steps of how this story first broke, then exploded, and now has finished all within a 72-hour time frame, it got nudged along when it was slowing down. And so I'm going to give you the True Detective version coming up at 8 o'clock. How about that? But meanwhile, the Raiders 3-0 and on top of the world. Jon Gruden in his dream job. Mark Davis with his friend and darn near idol coaching. And it all blows up over the course of many. This isn't dropping in like one line in the middle of a conversation 8 years ago. That's not what this is. This is the repeated, often vulgar, sexist and racist in some manners, insubordinate, just rude, man. End of the day, you can't, there's no avoiding where that story was heading. And so the Raiders, they got some former head coaches on their staff, Rod Marinelli, Gus Bradley. They're going to go with, I believe on the interim basis, the special teams coach who will try and coordinate it together. And, here are the Raiders. Derek Carr, had a football, from a football standpoint, this is a tumultuous, bad time for the Raiders as well. So,
meanwhile,
round two.
On the field last night, Monday night style, it was Ravens-Colts. Baltimore behind just a stellar game from Lamar Jackson. Comes back from down 19 to defeat Indianapolis and improve to 4-1 after losing in the opener, like you said, to the Raiders on Monday night. The Ravens now 4-1, but like you said earlier, Jeff, kind of living on the edge a little bit, sort of stole one in Detroit and then had this big comeback. So just how much are you buying the Ravens at 4-1?
Well, listen, I'm buying them from this standpoint. It's a bottom line business, and they're 4-1. And yeah, has every win been perfect? There's the other side that you're winning games when you're not playing your best yet. Think about what the Ravens have been through. Let's don't automatically forget they lost their top 3 running backs, and they're a running offense. I guess they probably had to scramble around to get over 100 yards rushing. They weren't there late in that game. What did they end up with rushing last night? They must have gone over 100. It'd be a big story if they didn't, but I'm telling you, late in the game when they were trailing and They had to pass.
Especially on the heels of them like going for it.
That's what I mean. This is the very next game.
That would have been a discussion point if they hadn't gotten it. So
Yeah.
they must have gotten there.
Yeah, I'm going to look up at that. Look it up for me. I bet it's not very. But at 4-1, I mean, I like them. You got the Browns and Bengals both at 3-2, and obviously the Chiefs are the big boy of the conference the last couple of years. They're off to a terrible start at 2-3. I guess a good comparison to make would be, who do you trust more, the Ravens or the Chargers? Who do you trust more at this stage, Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert?
Now this says they finished with 86 yards.
Yeah, it was nothing made of it.
Nothing made of it.
Right? The streak
After
comes to
Harbaugh
an
made
end.
such a fuss about that being such a big deal to get.
How could that not? That should be
That's
like
wild.
a headline, right?
Yeah, 86 yards total, 62 of those from Jackson.
I saw that late, and then I kind of forgot about it myself, and then it never was revisited by the announcing team. It wasn't revisited on Sports Center, in the game stories. It's
Because Harbaugh himself made that
Right.
like, what a big deal that is.
Right.
And everybody else is like, it's not a big deal, and then they don't get it, and it's win or us. It's not a big deal, John.
at the end of the day, when you ask, are the Ravens for real? I will say this: there are 3 4-1 teams in the AFC, and you believe right now through 5 games, at least I do. I believe in the Bills and Chargers more, and part of that is because of who they've beaten, and the other part is who they've. The Bills by right now are the class of the NFL. Now, how they lost that opening game, I think they had maybe a block kick return for a touchdown. There was an odd play in that loss to the Steelers. How they lost that game, gosh knows. But at 4-1 with a point differential, you ready for this? Of plus 108.
It's wild.
I mean, that's with a loss.
It's wild.
And so I would right now I would say that the Bills are the team to beat. Not just in the AFC, but all of football. But man, it's a roller coaster. As they say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You can't get too caught up at what's happening at the 8-mile mark when you got to go 26.
I saw somebody on Twitter was pointing out, and it's sort of it applies itself here, that we were so loudly critical and mocking of Josh Allen after his rookie season, in which he struggled so mightily.
Boy, he's improved.
He's
that rare exception. This usually doesn't work, of a guy who had to change his mechanics. You hear that? That's a red flag. Right. Everyone that goes and does that. I mean, I'm not talking about refines or works out with a coach. That's one thing. I'm talking about changing mechanics after you've been the number 7 pick in the draft. But, buddy, right now, there's not many guys you'd rather have. I was talking about Lamar, and it's time for everyone, all you get off my lawn guys that don't understand, that football's changing. Lamar Jackson doesn't have to impress you anymore. Y'all are wrong. Dude last night set the NFL record for most yards passing in a game with an 85% completion percentage. And the guys that he passed in order, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Johnny Unitas. Lamar Jackson's just fine. If you think the Ravens can't win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson, I don't know what to tell you. That's such a
Round 3.
Such a cold take.
Round 3, Jeff, the power rankings are out. I know Dan likes to make a bit out of this, but we'll just slide
we're
here.
32, Detroit's 31.
Jags and Jets at the bottom. Giants join them now at 30, sliding down. The Jets have passed the Giants, so congrats to the Jets and their fans. But to your point, Jeff, at the top end, the Buffalo Bills, number 1.
I believe it. Who's number 2? The Bucks?
The Arizona Cardinals, who are a road dog in Cleveland on Sunday, 3-point dog.
Arizona's had tough games.
Yeah.
I mean, at the Jags notwithstanding, but they opened at Tennessee. Tennessee would have been the favorite in that game. They've already, beaten the Rams. They've already beaten the Niners. They've had a tough schedule.
The Jags. I mean, they've had a hell of a run. They've beaten the Titans, Vikings, Jags, Rams, and 49ers.
That's pretty good.
With the Titans and Rams wins coming on the road.
The one thing about them is, and there's no break in the division. Like almost every good team has a break in their division. They've got 2 games where they're the significant favorite, and there's none of that in that NFC West. That's for sure.
To that point,
Round 4.
I'll shift gears, Jeff. To that point, speaking of the NFC West, Russell Wilson's going to be on the shelf for a bit. They're not really saying how long, but he had to have surgery on that middle finger, and at least non-Seahawk affiliated officials are saying 4 to 5 weeks. They're already 2-3, so how close are you to sticking a fork in those guys? Their upcoming schedule, by the way, they go to Pittsburgh on Sunday night. Then they're home for the Saints, home for the Jags, at Green Bay, then home for Arizona. That's their next 5.
Man, it's going to be awful hard without Russell Wilson. He so is the identity of that Seahawks team. And the division's so tough.
It's so hard, man.
If Russell Wilson were there and they were 2-3, it would still be a question. So that tells me without Russell Wilson, then the question is answered. Yeah, I don't think they can stick around for 4 or 5 weeks if they don't have Russell Wilson because of what you just said. I mean, they're 2-3
with 2 of the top 5 teams according to the power rankings in front of them in their own division.
Yeah,
or 2 of the top 3, 2 and 3 in the Week 5 power rankings. Arizona, LA.
Yeah, and by the way, you also are at the Packers here in this stretch.
Tall order.
At the Steelers, the home for the Saints, home for the Jags, at the Packers, home for the Cardinals. Saints and Jags are neither one unbeatable by any stretch.
Right.
But the one thing that I will say, surprisingly, and I think this was probably echoed by a lot of you out there who looked up and Geno Smith was quarterbacking, he played awfully good in that game. He played awfully good for Seattle. In fact, we had the quarterback whisperer with us on Friday. That game was on Thursday night. And Danny Thompson, who was, tight with Jake Luton, who works with him through his quarterback school, had said before the game, as he was there with Seattle, how impressed he was with Geno Smith. Man, this guy's good. Well, he came in the other day, and that's how he looked. He looked good. But, man, this is a big game at the Steelers. Steelers aren't great. Right, they're beat up. They're not playing great, so it looks like Juju Smith-Schuster's probably going to be out. We got more. I got a football fix coming up next segment. We'll get all the NFL news in there.
And lastly,
Round 5.
We had a lot of great baseball yesterday in the Major League Baseball playoffs, but maybe the most fireworks is coming from the series where there wasn't a game yesterday due to weather, where the White Sox and Astros got themselves a little bit of a beef going as White Sox reliever Ryan Tepera did not mince words talking about the Astros and their checkered history, saying, quote, they've obviously had a reputation of doing some sketchy stuff over there, and we could say that it's a little bit of a difference, referring to the difference Game 3 in Chicago versus the first 2 in Houston. I think he saw some swings and misses tonight compared to the first 2 games at Minute Maid Park.
Well, Dusty Baker had it right. Those are awful heavy accusations. I mean, that sounds like weak sauce to me.
That's some reckless stuff to just throw out regardless of the reputation.
And I don't recall, but it wasn't a player that jumped into my consciousness either, right?
Tepera, a reliever, Ryan Tepera.
Shut up, Tepera. It's time for you. Hey, by the way, Dusty, Astros, we're sorry, we've cut Tepera. And the Astros deserve plenty of criticism, even condemnation for what they did. I would find that just goes beyond the scope of gutsy, or, I was going to use a more colloquial term for that. You got a lot of nerve. Be awfully nervy for the Astros to do. I can't imagine they would risk their, total annihilation and reputation doing that.
Don't forget, Jeff, Tepera, most noteworthy, was with the Cubs last season, and due to an errant circle fill-in, received an MVP vote.
Well, that changes things.
So he feels a little high and mighty because he is a one-time MVP vote receiver.
Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't realize.
So
I didn't
it's
realize
not just some guy.
He carried that kind of stature. Well, I take it all back then. Let him have it.
That's some rando.
I'm going to be partying. It's too bad Dan wasn't here, and then I would have.
Is he okay?
I would have even sacrificed a victory today to hear Fireball, because that's what I'll be doing tonight.
You'll hear it tonight.
That's correct.
It's a double dip.
That's right.
You get the best of both worlds.
Boy, here's going to be Pitbull and Iggy. Getting Iggy with it tonight, and with some Pitbull.
My man's about to get turned with Big Bo.
Meanwhile, I think I'd rather see Chris Staple tonight, quite frankly. But hey, I'm going to enjoy myself. You enjoy sweet sounds of victory here on a Tuesday morning. It's Cat and Chuck Accessories Tuesday. Dan's back later in the week. He's off on a little trip. Y'all settle down.
People are very worried about Dan. Man of the people.
I mean, it's almost, you know what it reminds me of? I mean, all our family and all, but hey, come on now. It's not. No, but it reminds me of this like era that we're in right now. If somebody texts you or calls you, because it's cell phone, if you don't text or call them back, my God, in an hour, then you're some terrible person. And God forbid you don't get back with them for a day or two.
Now you've got beef.
Oh, man.
What did I do to you?
Right. Exactly.
Jeff, I'll take caller number 4 right now.
All right.
At 641-1010. They're going to go home with lunch entrees for 2 over at Sonny's Barbecue. Go fill your belly on us.
All right. I've got a Jag notebook that includes the signing of formerly pretty highly drafted receiver. We're going to kick the tires on another vet, see if any of those work. And I've got other Jag notes, plus a football fix when we return. It's The Drill on a Catlin Truck Accessories Tuesday.